straight from the heart of East Tennessee. This is 10 News Night Beat.
As the country looks for new ways to feed its fuel appetite, one technique used to extract energy from the ground continues to stir up controversy.
Hydraulic fracturing, or fracking as it is popularly known, uses pressurized liquids and gases. Energy companies pour those materials down a horizontal well into deep bedrock where they eventually crack the rocks below, releasing fuels like natural gas and oil.
It means putting anything underground down a well under pressure that will make the rock strata where you're trying to get gas or oil or whatever you're looking for crack and fissure, so it'll let gas or oil come back up the well more easily.
And according to TDEC, the process has been performed in Tennessee on and off since the 1960s, but some groups still oppose it.
In Pennsylvania, the water used in the fracking process has been known to leak into streams.
And they're using really large quantities of it. It's like 1 to 5 million gallons of water per well, plus some additives in it that help the process. That's kind of what started some of the concern publicly, and with some justification. Where does all that water come from? When it becomes wastewater with chemicals in it, how do you dispose of it?
Well, 10 News reporter John Henry took an in-depth look at the process and how it's performed in our state, and he joins us now with that story. John.
Robin and John, the first thing to point out is the process here in Tennessee is different than what you'll find up north. In Pennsylvania, they need all of that water to crack the Marcellus shell, that's the earth below. But here in East Tennessee, local frackers use mostly nitrogen gas, which significantly lessens the chance for groundwater contamination. Now, fracking here takes place on top of the Chattanooga shell, which covers a good portion of East Tennessee. And fracking has been known to take place here in Scott, Campbell, Morgan, Anderson, and Fentress counties. Now, the Chattanooga shell is more shallow than what you find up north and therefore doesn't need a lot of water to be fracked. Interestingly enough, TDEC estimates there are about only 15 active oil and gas drillers in the state. They say it's not known how many of them frack at this time. The number is low because the price of natural gas is currently low due to all the fracking that's happening in the Marcellus shell up north. I talked to a few companies and they said it's just not a lot of profit to be made. But that doesn't mean fracking's future here in East Tennessee is necessarily over. Martin Schubert knows the Cumberland Forest inside and out. He's the acting forest manager.
Working here for at full time for 14 years.
It's his job to keep his eyes on the dozens of studies faculty and students conduct in the woods. Everything from how to improve the production of shortleaf pine.
We might incorporate some fire.
To ways to better the water flow of local streams.
We're using this to demonstrate different practices.
The 8,300-acre Cumberland Forest lies in Morgan and Scott counties. UT has owned the property since 1937. It said the land is far removed from the days when it used to be used for strip mining.
We have some of the earliest mine reclamation research actually in the eastern U.S.
But now some worry a new project proposed by UT could once again alter the land. In March, the State Building Commission gave UT the go-ahead to seek an industry partner who could help it frack the land. The school says it wants to see how the process impacts these areas.
Some people may say, well, why don't you look at somebody else's wells, somebody that has already drilled a well or might be about to drill a well. Well, we don't have control of that property. We don't have control of that watershed.
The Southern Environmental Law Center opposes the plan. While the center agrees more research is needed on fracking, it's concerned a large-scale drilling operation could harm the Cumberland Forest and the region's water supply.
There has not been a public debate about whether this is an appropriate place for this kind of drilling to occur.
But the controversy goes deeper than that. The center obtained emails between UT officials that it says proves the university wants fracking to happen for monetary reasons. A 2008 email sent by current UT system president Joe Pietro asked a colleague for an update to the status of a lease agreement pertaining to the proposal. It read, "I'd appreciate an update and some sense of timeline for approval and needed steps. Given the budgetary concerns we face, it is more important than ever." While a 2012 message by UT Institute of Agriculture professor Dr. Roland Moat read, quote, "My congratulations to the person who came up with the creative idea for a fracking research project as a means of gaining approval to lease petroleum reserves under the Cumberland Forest. I hope the lease yields much money for the experiment station." The SELC says it's a glaring conflict of interest.
And it's insurmountable because what UT is studying is providing the income to do the study.
Renee Hoyos of the Tennessee Clean Water Network agrees.
And I think people are unhappy that the state is doing this. There's a fairly large group that really doesn't want to see this happen on public land.
For now, the university says it could make about $300,000 in the lease alone. Officials admit UT does have a financial interest in the project, but it says the fracking proposal is set up like most of its other studies.
We work with industry because much of the technologies that our faculty will develop will be implemented and will be taken to the marketplace by industry. And so we must work in a collaborative manner with industry.
UT says it will also maintain control of the property if it reaches an agreement with a fracking company.
It's part of our mission. We've been tasked to do this, and we have felt compelled that we have the scientific background and know-how and faculty members that we can do a good job on the ground.
Now, it's important to note this is not a done deal. Once the university finds a partner, it needs further approval from the state. Now, Robin and John, there's a lot more to be said on fracking here in East Tennessee. There's new rules and regulations. You'll be able to find that on our website, WBIR.com, very soon. And also, TDEC says there's never been a violation in the state when it comes to groundwater contamination and fracking.
And John, update us on the timeline. The university obviously putting out bids to get this deal done.
Yes, and the university says those bids are coming in right now. They've received interest from a couple of companies so far, and they expect to get that process done fairly soon, but once again, still not over. After that, they have to go back to the State Building Commission, which has to sign off on the program overall.
More to come. John Henry, thanks very much.